What's up, everybody? My name is Justin from Party Rental Knowledge, and I'm here with Alex Casio from Casio Insurance. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. Appreciate you having me.
Everybody just keeps asking same question over and over again. Who insures foam? Can I get foam insured? Foam insurance questions. I want to insure my foam machine. Am I going to get sued if I do a foam party? Well, to answer a couple of those questions, I got Alex here for us today. We're going to have this video real quick and just get right into it. So, first question is obviously, do you insure foam parties, Alex?
Yes, we do.
And it doesn't matter what machine you buy, right? Party machines or foam daddy, you insure both of them?
Correct.
Sweet. We'll get right into it. So, what do you require for contracts for foam?
So you're going to have your basic rental agreement. It really depends on what type of setup it is. So if it's a backyard birthday party, you're typically going to have a rental agreement in place. But then if you have maybe like a street fair, or if you're doing a corporate event, you're going to want to make sure that you have your pay for play waiver or your hold harmless signage up present in front of the unit. If you have multiple units, I mean, whether it's foam or not, even if it's a regular bounce house, you want to make sure that you have that signage up in front of every single unit. The reason being that the person who hired you, that you have the contract with, obviously all the other people that are using the equipment, they didn't know about the contract. So you have to make sure you put them on notice that, hey, here's the rule set. Here's the hold harmless wording in the signage saying that, hey, if somebody gets injured, you're going to hold our company harmless for any type of injury. We also have a statement that's signed by the rental company when they get the insurance with us, saying that, hey, if you guys have a foam pit, you're not going to allow them to dive or jump into the foam pit. But then also you don't want to allow them to run around as well. So same thing as like pool rules.
Exactly. And
So
that's what you have right here for what about safety and liability requirements for the foam party. You
right,
basically you require same thing. You require me when I rent from you. Listen, you are telling me that I will never go ahead and set up a slide next to a swimming pool. The
correct,
same thing with you're telling Casio when you say you're not going to let people dive into foam pits.
right,
And then so you should definitely probably have some signage on your foam pit, no diving. That would definitely help too.
absolutely,
And you want to definitely say it in your your initial speech. When you do foam parties, you definitely want to go ahead like you're doing a bounce house. You want to have all the rules and maybe have them sign off on all those rules just to protect you.
exactly,
Having just to show that you went over everything. You told the kids don't eat the foam. You told the parents that the kids shouldn't eat the foam, and you told parents that they shouldn't just run full force in here or dive onto the ground while they're playing in the foam because they can get stepped on. Like these
right.
are things that need to be going over with the parents before I say on the phone or before they even start like the party. And then you also want to address all the kids before they start going crazy with the phone. Oh,
Exactly. And then having the pay for play signage, because you also have not only the hold harmless wording in that sign, but you also have the rule set. So, we touched on this in other videos, is that you need to have a specific rule set for everything that you rent out. So that way when your contract it applies to the particular event that you're setting up at. So if you're
yep.
going to have a foam machine, you're going to have a foam pit, have the rules. Like you said, don't eat the foam, no running, no jumping. Don't set it up next to a pool. You want to make sure that not only do you have the sign there, but also take a picture of the sign in front of the setup. So that way you guys have documentation showing that, hey, we had them sign off on the rule set on the rental agreement, but then they also had the sign in front of it showing what the rules were supposed to be.
So, so here's an audible that we didn't even go over before we started this video. But do you let people put foam inside pools, like when people are in a swimming pool or anything like that? Like,
We don't want anything to do with the pool.
yeah,
Pools. Yeah. That's not something that you want to mess with.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't allow people to set up slides into pools at all because that's a
yeah.
terrible liability exposure. So
Nor
you don't
I
want to have
tell
any type of slip and falls because it's basically soapy, right? So if you
not
slip on
even
the
that, dude.
concrete.
You're
Hmm.
like people blow my mind. You want to cover the surface of the water with foam so you can't see below it, and then it already I've already filled backyards with enough foam that you can't already see like me. It's up to here in the chest. I'm 6'5". Like you're gonna put that on top of water so that people swimming around it. I'm like bad idea. No, just don't do it. People ask about it all the time. Like just no. Stay away from that. That's not cool. It's not. It sounds like a good idea. It's not.
That's the whole thing about insurance too, and negligence is the fact that it's something that if you can reasonably foresee something happening, then they're going to hold you negligent for it. So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind. You guys are the professionals. You're the people who run the equipment. You've seen it in operation. The people who are renting it from you, that might be the first time that they've ever seen that type of equipment. So
And that actually goes into our next question too. Like things are intended for certain uses. So what about foam on inflatables? Like inflatable slides. What about foam pits?
right,
Like if the manufacturer tells you, yes, go ahead and put slide on this foam or foam on this slide. This slide is made for foam. Leisure Activities has one where you stick the foam machine in the top and it'll drip foam down the slide. The manufacturer is letting you, so it's okay. It follows the manufacturer's guidelines. If you know what I mean, if it's a foam pit and not just a barricade for bumper cars that you're putting foam in. Do you see
right,
what I'm saying? Like there's two,
right.
like you want to make sure it's for intended use. Like it's a swimming pool, it's probably intended for swimming. It's not intended for a foam party.
Exactly.
So
It's like you don't take a dry slide and put a hose on the top of it and you make it into a water slide. It's
yep,
not designed for that. So don't make it into something it's not.
yes, don't do
Um,
that. You can't
yeah,
insure it that way.
exactly. Exactly. So, same thing though. It's like if it was designed that way, it's
Well,
easier for the insurance companies to swallow that pill. But if you're making it into something that wasn't designed for, then no, it's not a good idea.
my headphones died on me. Just keep talking.
Okay. I don't understand why the foam has been an issue in the past. I think that it should be pretty straightforward as far as the risk goes. But same thing like you talked about, like treat it like pool rules, like no running, no jumping. You got to have some common sense to it, but at the same time, common sense isn't all that common anymore. So
I'm gonna get
having
that tattooed on me.
you
I'm
know
not
have have your contracts signed every single time. That's one thing that you can always do from an insurance perspective, is just making sure that you have your contract signed every single time. You have the signage posted in front of the unit with the rule set and the hold harmless wording. And that's usually what you need to help protect yourself. For protecting your assets, though, that's something that if you're looking to cover the actual foam machine itself while it's in transit or while it's set up at the event, if it gets destroyed or stolen, you need to have an inland marine policy for that. So for if somebody gets injured, you're looking at your general liability and your participant accident policy, but the equipment is always going to be covered under an inland marine policy. And I get a bunch of questions about it. We quote it all the time, and people are like, I don't have any boats. I don't have any sort of use for a marine policy. You're like, oh, it just has a weird name, but it's essentially a property policy for equipment that's going to be moving from place to place. So
Exactly. And
um,
we've gone over these inland marine. We've also gone over like liability and all kinds of different things like that. We've also gone over what is it when you auto policy. You have to have an auto
right.
policy if you're doing deliveries.
Yep.
Like yeah, your stuff is covered with inland marine when it's in the trailer, but when it's being transported on the job and stuff like that, it's technically different. It's got to be under a certain policy.
Yep.
Any of these questions, feel free to call Alex up, ask them. Go on the YouTube channel. On the channel here, we actually have a whole section for just insurance questions on insurance topics all across the industry. So feel free to look in there for more information as well. And obviously, Party Rental Knowledge Group. If you have any questions too, you can get a hold of Alex in there. You can get a hold of me in there. A bunch of veterans in there as well. Yeah, I figured we'd cover foam today.
Well, hopefully answered everybody's questions.
Exactly. So have a good one, everybody. Enjoy your day. Keep on learning and stay safe. Be responsible. Don't put foam in pools.
There you go.